Good morning. It is 6:57 a.m. on Monday, May 2nd, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So I'm moving a little slow this evening. Uh, or this evening. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm doing all right, but yeah, didn't really sleep well last night. I'm not sure what was going on there, but I was just very kind of tossing and turning-y. That's a word? No, it's not. I made it a word through force of will. I am the arbiter of words! Yesterday, I started playing Lego Marvel's Avengers, which I had had for a while but hadn't put in yet, partly just because after playing so much Lego Dimensions, I was kind of not ready yet for more Lego. But in my enthusiasm for the upcoming release of Captain America Civil War, which I believe starts on Friday. Maybe there's a Thursday night show. I haven't looked at. But uh, I was thinking, you know what? Because I have this game and I want to play it anyway, and because I had been idly considering the idea of rewatching some of Marvel's earlier movies in preparation for the new one, then it occurred to me, since the Lego Marvel's Avengers game kind of is about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and sort of retelling those stories, why not try that as a way to kind of prepare for the new movie? And it's kind of a fun idea, and getting started on it, it's fun. I will say that, well, first of all, the structure is weird in an interesting way, which I'll get into in a moment. But what I'll say generally is that I feel like I liked Lego Marvel Superheroes, the previous Lego Marvel game. I liked that better. It had its own original story, which tied in all sorts of characters from all over the comic continuity. This one almost feels too much like it's just a tie-in. I mean, it's well made and all that, but a lot of its fancier features that diverge from the standard Lego formula, I feel like are not good additions. Like, for example, one of the things that it has that is kind of cool at first is that when you're fighting the various other little Lego guys, each character that you're playing as has their own special little move that they can do on, enemy bad guys. But at least when you're playing through in story mode, when you're doing the first one and you can't control which characters you're using, you only ever have the choice of two or three different characters at a time. Uh, that prompt to do that special move is just coming up constantly, and the move is exactly the same every time. And it just you end up seeing it like 300 times, and it's just like starts to feel like, oh, okay, I wish that's, I'm getting tired of it now. What was an interesting feature at first is now kind of annoying. And then same at a slightly lower frequency is that there are special moves between certain pairs of characters. Like, there will be a bit where if you've got Captain America and Black Widow, for example, if you've got the two characters fighting close enough together, you can trigger this move where she jumps on top of his shield and he uses it to boost her up into the air, and then she spins around and shoots her guns, and it takes out a bunch of guys at once. And it's very cool, but it's also the exact same move every time you do it. Now, I don't want to be overly critical of the game. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to continue to play it, so I don't want to overstate the case, but only in comparison to Lego Marvel Avengers or the story mode of Lego Batman 3. I feel like it's not my favorite, but still got a lot of good. But one of the things that's interesting about it is that I'm not 100% finished with story mode yet. I don't think, because here's why it's complicated. The game begins with the opening sequence of Avengers Age of Ultron, where they're storming Baron Strucker's castle. They're fighting in the snowy forest, and they're trying to recover Loki's scepter. So that's the beginning of this game. But then, once they get the scepter and that sort of sequence is finished, then we flash back all the way to the beginning of the first Avengers movie, where they're talking about the Tesseract, and that's when Loki shows up. And from that point, we do like the beginning action sequences of the first Avengers movie. But then we have a level where it's the, getting all the people together, and in the sequence where Fury goes to recruit Captain America from the gym, then we flash back to scenes from Captain America, the First Avenger, when he's back in World War II, and that's setting up who Bucky is, and it's like, so those sequences are focused on Cap and Bucky together. And so the end of that, that flashback is when Bucky appears to die. And so, and it's all played as Cap, when he's doing the punching bag, he's flashing back on these memories that are making him want to punching bag really hard. And so that's an interesting structure, that we're sort of telling this whole saga, like changing the order around. But so from there, though, we pretty much just do the whole rest of the first Avengers movie, which is a lot of stuff. I mean, the levels make that take a long time. And then credits roll. And I'm like, what? I know that there's more to the game than this. But there's a long... I mean, video game credits can be long, but this is like 15 minutes of credits. And then it says, okay, do you want to continue the story mode? And I'm like, okay, why did you just roll the credits? But all right, yes. And so then it picks back up with telling Age of Ultron's story and having the party. And it actually has a couple of sequences that aren't even in the movie, like that tell like in between things, like what Baron Strucker was really doing with the scepter before the Avengers came to take it. And so now I'm at the the party where Ultron shows up. And so it's really, and I know that the game also has stuff from Captain America Winter Soldier in it, and Thor the Dark World in it. And so my guess is that as we progress through the Age of Ultron story, we're going to have these other sidetracks where we flash back to these other various elements. And I think that's a neat idea, and I'm kind of interested to keep going. Although, like, there are, like, as interesting as that is, there's some weird elements to the game. Like I said, rolling the long credits like that at the end of the first Avengers movie story was really strange. Anyway, I'm continuing to like it, and obviously, what the way that the story elements are presented is that we're largely telling slightly simplified versions of the real movie story. Lots of additional sight gags put in, but using sound clips from real dialogue from the movies, and it's good. It's good. And I'm feeling like it is a fun way to sort of revisit those stories in advance of the new one. Anyway, we're already running longer than necessary, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.